Hello, in this video we're going to continue on from basically where we left off in the last video. And in the last video we created these 50 by 50 squares and we made essentially 5 rows. So there's 5 rows of 5 squares. And the one thing we did not do was to offset the colors, because part of the instructions that we wanted to accomplish in that video was offsetting the colors, which means that like this indigo color, instead of being in place 1 here, will be in place 2, and then 3, and then 4. So then every row would be offset, and then the colors would kind of like go diagonally as opposed to just straight up and down. And this is really not that difficult of a task to do, and there's a couple of different ways we could do it. But the main thing I wanted to think about when we accomplish this task is thinking about how the code is read and then how HTML creates the various things we see on our screen. And what I mean by that is that the code is, of course, read top to bottom. So from here, and it's read this line, and this line, and this line, and this line, and everything then as it is read is created one after the other after the other. Now, that being said, because of the rules that we add with our styling, things don't always show top to bottom, but they're always created top to bottom. So what I mean by that is, remember, these divs, like this div here, is one div with 5 divs inside of it. And then the divs are all these different colors, and that would be this one right here. And then the one that's below it is this one right here, and that's this row right here. So the code reads this div right here, and it says, okay, this is going to be a flex div, which means everything's in a row. So then it makes this indigo one, boom, and it makes this one. Then it makes this Dodger blue square, and it makes this one. And then it makes a goldenrod square, and then it makes the orange red square, and then it makes the green square. Then it gets to this closed div, and the computer reads this and says, okay, this row is done, go to the next div, and this next div is also a row because it's got display flex, so it does the same thing, and that's how it goes top to bottom, and it makes these different rows. So understanding that, the way we would want to make our offset really is as simple as just rearranging in an orderly fashion how the computer reads each part. Like right in the top one, indigo's first, then Dodger blue, then goldenrod, then orange red, then green. What if we did this in the second one? Let's go to the very bottom and get the green and do Control X. And then let's go up here to the top. And this is in the second div. So this will be the second row div. And I'm going to click V. And so now I have the green over here as the first one. But that shifts everything else. And so now we have a little bit of an angle. Look at that. The indigo, the Dodger blue, the goldenrod, the orange red, they're all slightly angled. Which means then that if I go to the next row, the third row, I'm going to get the bottom 2 items. And I'm going to do Control X. And then I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to put those bottom 2 items in the top. When I do that, notice that everything shifts over by 2. So then for the next one, I'm going to get the bottom 3 items and do Control X and put those bottom 3 items in the top. And there we go. And then, of course, you could probably guess I'm going to get the bottom 4 items in the last one and do Control X and then put them on the top. And there we go. Now everything is offset. So that's a very simple way of getting that done. And it makes a lot of sense when you understand how the code is read and then how the code writes the elements that it reads. So if you got this done and it looks just like this, of course your colors could be different, but as long as it's got the offset and all of the different squares are at neat angles, then you did a great job. Good job.